Okay.
Well, hello, and thank you so much for joining us on this special edition of Japan, a hosted sailing that we have in May of 2024. We are very excited about this special destination. And today we're going to have some special guests, so I'm not going to delay too long in introducing them. We have with us today, of course, you know me, KK Offray here. Good to see you again. And we have Chris Sizemore from Celebrity Cruises. Chris, we're so grateful that you're here with us today. And of course, I know that your personal experience just last year in Japan is going to lend so much to this presentation. And of course, we have the hostess with the mostest. We have one of our favorite hosts from Expedia Cruises is Maria Muhech. And she's going to be joining you on the sailing in May of 2024 to Japan. And of course, when we think of Japan, it's one of the hottest destinations at the moment. And this particular cruise is going to go around Japan. So this is not one of those where you're going to try to fill in all of Asia all in one trip. No, you can focus on this great destination of Japan. So to tell us a little bit more about the specific itinerary, I'd like to ask Chris to maybe take us on a journey around Japan.
Absolutely, my pleasure. And I did, as you mentioned, KK, have the opportunity to travel previously to Japan. And actually, I haven't even been lucky enough to go to all of these destinations. So I'm going to share some of the really fun photos of what I've been able to do. But I want to start off with where you actually have your initial port of call, which is your port of embarkation, and that is Yokohama. And Yokohama is actually a sister city to Tokyo. So we actually always have it listed as Tokyo and Yokohama because it really is just across the bay. And it is everything you've got in this world-class, amazing city of high-tech future meets this old Eastern philosophy in Tokyo. You have it all in Yokohama as well. It's a world-class city just the same. You can actually catch a Baystar baseball game at their stadium right outside the cruise port. In fact, I'd like to talk about the cruise port that they have. It itself is its very own destination within Yokohama. This will be the port that you leave out of, and it's a walk right into the main part of town. So you can see this. When I was there, all the locals go. It's like a park built of wood and has beautiful grass. People like to wave you off as you head for your Japan cruise. But it's really amazing because this is located so close and it's just such a central destination. And it's where you're actually leaving as well. Another thing about Yokohama, something I always say, don't miss. In fact, my suggestion is work with your Expedia Cruises agent so that you can get a few days prior. They can work with you and get you your air. Go to the Cup Noodle Museum.
Wait, is that you in that picture with that giant cup of noodles?
That is me and my friend Jansen from Los Angeles. We were both on this trip together, my traveling buddy. And we were told to go to this Cup Noodle Museum and we scratched our head and said, really? And it actually was one of my most fun experiences on board. And it's literally a walk from the pier. So it's something that you always want to remember, the Cup Noodle Museum as well in Yokohama.
I love that.
Then, of course, once you leave beautiful Yokohama, you're going to be sailing on board the beautiful Celebrity Millennium. So you have a nice day at sea. And then on day 3, which in this case for you guys is a Saturday, it's May 4th, you'll be docked from 8 a.m. until almost midnight. So you have a really long amount of time in the beautiful port of Kobe.
Yeah.
That's right. And Kobe is actually this beautiful village. It's not even a huge town, although in Japan, that's always relative when you say that sort of thing. But it attracts the same people that go to these cosmopolitan cities, but it's a really small city that's easily navigated. As you can see here, it has a beautiful herb garden. This herb garden is where you can actually take this tram up and go and pick very fragrant local herbs. Also, right from the cruise port, you can go right into town and you can explore everything. And the 2 most important things in my experience when I went, number 1, you're going to find sake factories almost everywhere you go on all of your ports. But there was one called the Hakodate sake brewery that I was able to go to. And it was just really a great experience. Usually we'll have shore excursions. You can go on your own, but it's something that you want to do. And I suggest doing it in Kobe because you want to do it before or after one of those bucket list experiences. And that bucket list experiences is, of course, enjoying the world famous Kobe beef, because it's not just this amazing beef and the way that they raise the cattle and how it's marbled, but it's the actual ritual. It's so Japanese, how they have special certified chefs and such to do this. So always be sure to schedule your Kobe beef meal. I don't have to say lunch or dinner. You're going to be there until midnight, so you can choose. But please do that when you're in Kobe as well.
Excellent.
Now you can see this picture I took myself is of one of the world famous Japanese bullet trains. Once again, just a regular mode of the most on time in the world transportation that they have in Japan. But for those of us from the West, it's such an exciting experience, even with the regular Japanese commuters, because you're going to be in Kyoto and Osaka for an overnight stay. So we actually have an overnight stay where you don't even actually leave the port until the next day. And you'll get there on Sunday, May 5th. And you'll be arriving, you'll be departing on Monday, May 6th. And just between Kyoto and Osaka, that ride is only 14 minutes on a bullet train, although it's not particularly super close, but those things go about 199 miles an hour, sometimes even a little faster. So Osaka itself is much different than you're going to find maybe Kobe. It's going to be very cosmopolitan and very Japanese and things happening everywhere. A lot of great street food. That's something I always love. If you follow those shows on television on the Travel Channel, that's what you're going to enjoy. And then, of course, you can have your Zen. You can go to the Shogunate Osaka Castle, which was one of the most famous sites in Osaka, and just get that great Zen experience. And you can even see those buildings. So you've got that great Eastern Japanese experience, this lovely garden and castle, and then you've got that beautiful cityscape behind it as well. Another place that I loved when I was in Kyoto was the Kanauji Temple. And I have to even say, there are so many images of this online. There's so many images of this that we have available to see. But when you see this golden pagoda in person, it literally glows, it shines. This is one of those world sites that you want to go to when you're in Japan. So remember the Kanauji Temple. And I apologize for my fractured Japanese. I do my very, very best. Usually with a couple of sahis in me or a couple of Sapporos, it helps me when I'm in Japan. And you have more than your chance to go and enjoy what they call communication with some of the Japanese businessmen, have some drinks and some great food when you're in destination. The Fushimi Inari Shrine is another amazing place in Kyoto. You can see me with our guide and one of my friends from Japanese Tourism Authority that was with us. We actually have these gates. You see those beautiful orange gates on the left. You can go up almost 6 miles of these gates up to the very top. I about lost out about maybe halfway through. I had to go back down. But really, you can get some exercise. You can see some amazing history and actually ancient history in that temple. And then something I always suggest as well when you're in Kyoto, you're going to go to the Old Town area and take one of the rickshaw rides through the bamboo forest. And it's really interesting because you see this image of us there in the bamboo forest, but it's surrounded by the little downtown area. So the rickshaw rides take you through the little markets and such. And something I found interesting in Japan is they actually frown upon tipping. And that was the hardest thing I could ever do because of the fact that they worked so hard to move us in those rickshaws, but they actually consider it to be very honorable in what they do. And if you tip them, it's dishonoring them. It's saying, I don't think you get paid enough. In my opinion, I don't think they get paid enough. These guys took us around everywhere. Have that experience. It's a bucket list experience. Do it. You're in Japan. You only live once.
And now we're off to Hiroshima.
Yes, Hiroshima. So for Hiroshima, everybody obviously thinks of Hiroshima from World War II. It's got a very unique history, obviously, in world history, but it's actually known right now as a beacon of peace. It's actually considered the peaceful city. And what you actually have the opportunity to do besides going to the shrines, you can actually go to the Peace Museum, which you see at the top there. And it gives you a real retrospective for the Japanese end of World War II. And then you actually see on the very center image there, that actually is they call it the Hiroshima Dome. And that you can see on the right is what it looked like prior. And that was the only building left standing in 1945 after the war ended. So just a really unique experience. But besides that experience in Hiroshima, you can go to the Isu Kushima Shrine. And you can see the little ferry in the bay there, because you actually have to take a ferry from the mainland to this, what's really its own island. And this is great. It has natural deer walking around. They're not afraid of people, which I'm not used to being here in Northern California, where the deer run away from us. We actually watched weddings happening, and you can see that little gate out in the water. And that gate is essentially just been completely refurbished. And that gate essentially opens you up to this beautiful shrine. And the tide is so high and low that at times the gate, you feel you can walk to it because it's got the mud flat. And then you look around and it'll actually have the full ocean around it.
That's very cool. And then, of course, we have one of those amazing days at sea. I think we were talking about earlier, one of the reasons I love how there are several days at sea is because this really gives you, I think, Maria, you were saying, it gives you a chance to recuperate, relax, and really reflect on what you've seen, right?
Exactly. I love itineraries that have days at sea because they give you time to exactly recharge. If not, it's just like go, go, go. And also because I always, like, you know me, I love cruising. I get goosebumps as the second I step in front of a cruise ship. It's just like, for me, it's just something that I've always had. I love them. And every time when I'm on a cruise and I'm just on those go, 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 I feel like kind of sad at the end because I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't enjoy the ship enough. I didn't enjoy this venue. There's so many fun things to do on board. This is such a beautiful ship, and that I really, really, yeah, I'm happy to see that we will have enough days to enjoy it.
Absolutely. And the beauty of a cruise to Japan is you're cruising close to all the islands. So you're not in the open ocean. So there's quite a bit to see. So you definitely want to get a veranda on the ship or be able to go to the top deck and see quite a bit as well. Now, we say it's a Japanese trip, but you actually have Busan, South Korea included as well. So if South Korea is on your bucket list, you can check it off. Go to Expedia Cruises, and as I say, make your bucket list your bucket list, make sure that they book it for you. And this is really interesting. So you can see on the left-hand side, that little image, it's a very large premier trading port, a lot of international metropolis business going on there, yet it actually has a really large area where you can go to nature and unwind. And here in the Beomeo-sa Temple, this is one of those places you can actually retreat, have once again your moment of Japanese Zen, or actually in this particular case, Korean Zen, and you're right by the ocean. So people can actually go, even at certain parts that you see in the picture here, into the water, just really have that great Zen nature experience. And it's once again a beautiful cosmopolitan area. And even though you want to see the temples and the history and the historical sites and the nature, sometimes you just want to enjoy the good things in life like a local. So in Busan, Korea, we actually have the Pushimuchung Spa, and I'm sure I butchered that for any of my Korean friends, but just look at that picture. You don't even have to say the name. You just have to walk in. This is a world-class spa. You can have that great experience on board the ship, but also you can go and enjoy this spa experience. And the reason I included this is because this is something, whenever people hear the term Busan, they always ask about this spa. So you're going to have a good amount of time in that destination. Maybe take half of the day after you hike, go to that beautiful temple, and have a nice massage or soak in the spa.
I love that. And then, of course, we have another day at sea. Yay! Before we arrive, of course, in Hakodate.
Yes, Hakodate. Now, this is a port city. It's on the island of Hokkaido. It's best known for its spectacular views. It has a beautiful mountaintop, which I think we have an image a little bit later on the slides here. But it's also known, and I'm a huge seafood fan, so it's known for its great seafood sushi, squid ramen. Essentially, it's a Japanese culinary delight. So it's got a little bit of everything, but people do like to go to the top of Mount Hakodate. I'm sorry, Hakodate. I keep calling it Hakodate. It's not French, it's Japan. And they get a beautiful view. You can actually see the view here of the former Gori-o-kaku fort. And this is actually a Western fort, Western style fort, the only one you could ever find in Asia. And you saw the picture prior, it's actually been changed. Now it's a historical site where you can watch the cherry blossoms. So really some great history. And then once again, especially in Japan, you can see, I don't think in June you're going to have, I'm sorry, in May, you're going to have the cherry blossoms. They might just be ending, but the scapes are still absolutely stunning. And you actually have options. You can take a car, a motor coach. This is probably the most popular way, the cable car to the top of the mountain. And I was reading up on this, that you can actually hike, something I did not do. But for those of you that want that great adventure, you can actually hike to the top of this mountain and get this view as well.
Well, speaking of mountains.
Yeah, speaking of mountains, actually we got the Aomori port. And this is going to be on Sunday, May 12th. This is going to be on your 11th day of the cruise. You're going to have a nice afternoon. You're going to have from 7 o'clock until 5. So you have a nice day to enjoy. And this is part of the capital Aomori Prefecture. It's located in the Mitsu Bay, and it's in the northern tip of the Honshu district. But what it's really famous for is it has the Shirikami Mountains, which have the world's largest beechwood forest. It's actually a World Heritage Site, a UNESCO World Heritage Site. And you can walk in this forest in many different areas. They have resorts and such as well. And you can see some of the beautiful images that we're sharing of that here as well.
That's beautiful. And of course, this very famous bridge, it's gorgeous.
Absolutely. And it's so interesting because I did mention, you might be seeing some of the end of the cherry blossoms when you're there, but
Yes.
these trees, even without the cherry blossoms, are absolutely stunning. Absolutely stunning.
Yes, absolutely. And yay, we have another day at sea. I can't express enough how much I love those in between. That's great.
Exactly.
And of course,
Oh my
takes
God,
us
yes.
to where
Exactly.
we can see Mount Fuji.
Yes, you're going to see, Mount Fuji actually is such a large volcanic mountain. You can see it from about 60 miles out. You can actually see it sometimes when you're going to different parts of the country on the bullet train, but you're going to actually have the opportunity to see it much closer because you'll be going into the Shimizu port and you'll be able to see Mount Fuji through many different excursions that we offer. But once again, on clear days, it's just this beautiful snow-capped volcanic cone. And then the Kakitagawa Springs and the Kakitagawa River are probably going to be what I would suggest more than anything to really get that experience, because you can see Mount Fuji in the back there. And not only is the river temperate and there's areas that you can go and wade and enjoy, but we actually have a full hot springs you can go to there as well. That's very famous. And I'm sure we have a lot of options for you to book that when you're on board the ship.
Well, that's great.
Yeah. And then day 14, you arrive back in Tokyo. My suggestion is Yokohama. Enjoy the heck out of Yokohama. Go a few days earlier. You will not regret it. You'll probably need a few days more. And when you come back, explore Tokyo. It's one of those places you can hit the highlights, and then you can work with Expedia Cruises again, because they don't just book cruises and then book your land trip to Tokyo.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
And of course, we are so grateful. And you are so fortunate that you're going to be traveling with Maria. And every chance I get, I like to travel with Maria. On this particular cruise, Maria, you've got some fun things planned for this group.
Oh yes, we're so lucky to have this partnership because we got this super fun things, very apropos to where we're cruising. So I love it. We will be having a welcome cocktail party. Why not? This cruise has fantastic venues where we can do that, and we can all get together and meet each other. We'll be treated for a sushi rolling class. Great, again, perfect for the destination. This ship also has a fantastic sushi restaurant, so why not? Martini flight tasting. It will be great for one of those at sea days that we all will be super excited to see each other, talk about what we've seen, what we will see the next day. So great way to all connect. And we'll also get a wine appreciation tasting. So I think we'll be having a wonderful time every evening for those at sea days. And of course, I'll be there with you all the time. This is one of my favorite cruise lines. Everybody knows that I love Celebrity, and I have been on the ship. I absolutely love it.
I know that you had the chance of sailing in Asia aboard this ship also. And of course,
then,
here in the office, I just have to share with you all, here in the office, we call her Miss Celebrity because she loves celebrity cruises. So that's
okay,
really
so, and with this cruise, this is one of my favorite things you have to do with Celebrity. This is one of the best deals you'll find. So we have with your fare, you have included your classic beverage package. Amazing. This is a beverage package that includes all your classic beverage. You can order. You won't be worried about how much I have spent. Can I have another margarita? Can I have another martini? The wonderful thing about them is they don't have like a service fee or anything on the beverage package. I can't stretch enough what a value this is with Celebrity. You'll have your prepaid gratuities also as well included, and you have your Wi-Fi account, one device per person in the room, which is great. That way, if you need to be connected, you can do that. Of course, I would advise let's all disconnect from work and just enjoy this cruise, but you will have a Wi-Fi account.
Well, that's great. And when I think of these perks too, I think of all of these specialty coffees and teas and the bottled water and the juices and
exactly.
And
a lot of people think especially coffees are not included. This ship has a beautiful venue for coffees, Cafe Al Vecchio. It's a wonderful place to get together. It has wonderful views. So as it's sailing, is one of my favorite places to be on the ship during the day because it really has a nice view. So why not go have your latte mid-afternoon, your nice tea. It will be great.
That's fantastic. Well, and I want to share too with everyone that we have some surprise perks. And what that means is that depending on when you book, the earlier you book, the better. Some of the savings are, I mean, significant dollar amounts. Other times it's huge onboard credits. So the earlier that you book, the better the perks. And so we can't announce them publicly. I can just tell you they're great. So when you call us, we'll be able to tell you what the surprise perk is at that time. So make sure that you book early. Of course, we also know that Japan is probably one of the hottest destinations right now.
Yeah,
And
it's been
so-
closed for a while. People are killing to go now.
Yes, everyone is very, very much ready to go. And so, Chris, tell us a little bit about some of the features of Celebrity that we need to know about.
Absolutely. And I do agree with you, by the way. It is selling out like crazy. And so please, I know we say this in the industry a lot, but book this soon because space will go.
Yeah.
And when we talk about space, it's going to be space on these beautiful ships. We have 5 pillars because you got 4 days at sea. So you're going to be going to the world's most beautiful places on what we say as Celebrity Cruises are the world's most beautiful places, which are our ships. Forbes star rated, including the Celebrity Millennium that you're going to be sailing. And we always stick to our 5 pillars, which are destination, culinary, service, design, and well-being. And you're going to actually probably have a lot of that same experience when you're in Japan on land. So we're going to take you to these beautiful exotic areas. These aren't all the ports that other cruise lines go to. Some of these are very special. On board the ship, we're going to have fantastic food that is curated by a Michelin star rated chef, including destination meals that are created by Chef Daniel Boulud, the world's most famous chef. Instead of going to his Danielle in New York and waiting 3 months for a reservation, you might be able to get to try one of his delicacies on board our ships. Our service, once again, is Forbes rated, 4-star actually for this particular ship. That's all I can say. It says it all. The design, Maria is going to share some of those details, so I'll keep that secret until then. And then, of course, well-being. We have great spas on board. You can go to that beautiful spa in Korea as well, but you can enjoy yourself. You're going to have time to relax and rejuvenate. Maybe one of you will actually climb that mountain.
There you go. I like that. And Maria, I know you have a passion for the Millennium. And of course, she's part of the Millennium series of ships. So you want to talk a little bit about, what did you call it? It's not the refurbishment, it's called the Revolution.
Revolution. Yeah, because this ship, so the Millennium class ships I have always loved the ships. Of course, they were getting a little bit older. I always liked them. But when Celebrity came up with the new ships that are completely a revolution in the industry because of their design, they said, okay, we cannot leave the little sisters behind. So they were super smart. They decided to do a revolution through the entire fleet of ships they have. And luckily enough, the Millennium is one of the ships that has already gone through this process. And I have to say, I was super pleased with the result. I sailed with them. I was super lucky. You're not going to believe it. 2020 in Asia, just before COVID hit and the world stopped, I was able to enjoy this ship. And I was so amazed with all what they did with the venues, because they kept my favorite places, but all the carpets, hardwood, decor, everything got that modern twist that all the brand new ships have. So made the spaces look much bigger, really modern. The dining venues are absolutely gorgeous. One of the nicest places on the ship, as you can see on these pictures, is the main dining room. That dining room is absolutely gorgeous because it has a floor to ceiling window that it's, when you're having dinner and this ship is sailing, it's just like breathtaking. It has a wine cellar that is very famous because it's a glass wine cellar. They kept that, but everything else was redone. The chairs, everything. It has such a nice vibe to it. Of course, a very popular destination is the Ocean View Cafe. It's gorgeous. It's just gorgeous. You really enjoy it. That's my to-go place every time I come back from ashore. I run to the Ocean View Cafe, grab a salad, something nice to eat, and I go outside because I love to see when the ship departs port. Beautiful dining venues. And you also have like the specialty restaurants. This ship has, I have to say it because it has the petite chef, an amazing experience. Do not miss the experience. It's just wonderful. And Tuscan Grill, the Tuscan Grill is also a great restaurant. It's inside a wine, it looks like a wine cellar. It's just a wonderful experience. The rooms look so spacious now with this revolution because all the light color on the furniture and the carpets, and they got rid of like the bulky pieces of furniture. So it really makes the room much bigger. All the spaces are very, very well purposed. And you're going to be very surprised because one of the main surprises is not here in the picture that I got when I got on board the ship is the bathrooms. Oh my God, they did an amazing job with the bathrooms. The showers are really nice, convenient. There's enough space for you to move around. No more like concern about what if I cannot bend. Beautiful, beautiful job they have done with this ship.
Oh, that's great. Well, like we say, just like that wonderful tram that you see going up the hillside there, the savings are also up. Right now, we have significant savings, and that's because we blocked this group space way, way, way in advance. Our early planning helps to save you money. So right now, as you can see, there is significant savings all the way from the inside up through the concierge. I highly recommend that, of course, with the limited space that we still have, that you might want to jump on this. And with those extra special perks that we have, they're combinable. So this is a great opportunity. And we just want to invite you to join us. Join Maria, join the gang from Expedia Cruises as we explore Japan, around Japan on this particular sailing. It's sailing May the 2nd for 2024. And, you know, when I say join us, I really want to express who we are. Expedia Cruises here in North Bay, we are not a call center. Oftentimes people hear Expedia in our name and they think that we're a call center somewhere around the world. Nope, we're located right here in California with a team of incredible travel professionals. And we are very, very full service. So that means that we're going to help you with your air and your transfers and those extensions in Yokohama and Tokyo that Chris was talking about. We'll take care of all of that for you. And we are very, very fortunate. We're grateful for all the guests who come back to us again and again. We are the highest producing Expedia Cruises in North America. And the result is simply because we have a great team of people for you to work with. So when you call, you'll get assigned to a specific consultant who's going to go all the way through the process for you. And of course, then you get to travel with Maria. So you see our telephone number there, the toll-free number. You can call and say that you saw this and you would like to join us in Japan. You're also welcome to send us an email. If you prefer to actually meet your consultant live, kind of like what we're doing now, you're welcome to let us know and we can schedule a video appointment for you as well. So we do hope that you join us. Make sure that you call soon, email us. And again, from all of us, we hope that you join us in Japan. Thanks everybody for joining us today.
Thank you.
Arigato.